there's a lot of people that are wondering where these laws are coming from that are uh, taking away people's rights and freedoms. And if you checked out my Facebook page or my other stuff about the mystery of God revealed, you kind of see where I'm coming from, hopefully. But uh, there is a movement in the world now that is there to take away the rights and freedoms of people, and it's spreading a doctrine uh, of control and taking away the free will of people. When you have a law and you are threatened with war and being put in prison, you don't have free will anymore. And when you are forced to pay high prices and you have to work for the money that you have to pay for that, then you are enslaved. And what I'm going to read to you comes out of the Holy Bible, and it's actually out of the Catholic version of the Holy Bible, and it's part of the book called the Apocrypha, and it's out of 1 Maccabees. And the book 1 and 2 Maccabees, to me, is about this the people that fight against this law, this anti-law actually is what it is, of the uncircumcision, which forces people to live the way prescribed by this antichrist, or is called Antiochus, in this book. And I'm going to read to you what he says out of the book. And this is right away in 1 Maccabees, uh, chapter 1, verse 43, and it goes to chapter 2. And this is just the edict. This isn't about, before that, it talks about the people that become circumcised, they become true Israelites. And he goes back, every time this happens, they have to find the people that are being circumcised to the law and get them back into the edict of the uncircumcised. Now here it is. It goes like this, the edict of Antiochus. And King Antiochus wrote to all his kingdom that all the people should be one, and everyone should leave his own law. And all nations consented according to the word of King Antiochus. And many of Israel consented to his service, and they sacrificed to idols and profaned the Sabbath. And the king sent letters by the hands of messengers to Jerusalem and to all the cities of Judah that they should follow the law of the nations of the earth, and should forbid holocausts and sacrifices and atonements to be made in the temple of God, and should prohibit the Sabbath and the festival days to be celebrated. And he commanded the holy places to be profaned, and the holy people of Israel. And he commanded altars to be built, and temples, and idols, and swine's flesh to be immolated, and unclean beasts, and that they should leave their children uncircumcised, and let their souls be defiled with all uncleannesses and abominations, to the end that they should forget the law, and should change all the justifications of God, and that whosoever would not do according to the word of King Antiochus should be put to death. According to all these words he wrote to his whole kingdom, and he appointed rulers over the people that should force them to do these things. And they commanded the cities of Judah to sacrifice. Then many of the people were gathered to them that had forsaken the law of the Lord, and they committed evils in the land. And they drove away the people of Israel into lurking holes and into the secret places of fugitives. On the 15th day of the month Caslu, in the 145th year, King Antiochus set up the abominable idol of desolation upon the altar of God, and they built altars throughout all the cities of Judah round about. And they burnt incense and sacrificed at the doors of the houses and in the streets. And they cut in pieces and burnt with fire the books of the law of God. And everyone with whom the books of the testament of the Lord were found, and whosoever observed the law of the Lord, they put to death, according to the edict of the king. Thus by their power did they deal with the people of Israel, that they were found in the cities month after month. And on the 25th day of the month they sacrificed upon the altar of the idol that was over against the altar of God, in italics. Now the women that circumcised their children were slain according to the commandment of King Antiochus, and they hanged the children about their necks in all their houses, and those that had circumcised them they put to death. And many of the people of Israel determined with themselves that they would not eat unclean things, and they chose rather to die than to be defiled with unclean meats. And they would not break the holy law of God, and they were put to death. And there was very great wrath upon the people. That's the end of the edict. And what he's saying there is that anybody who wants to use their own good judgment and not use the law, anybody who doesn't want a social security number, isn't marked with the mark of the beast, anybody who isn't using the money they print or working the way they want you to work or following the laws that they prescribe that how you should live, then you are circumcised, and they will come after you the way they did the Branch Davidians, the way they did to the group they called them Mormons down in Texas. I don't think they were Mormons. They were just circumcised, and they made that story up that they were Mormons. Maybe they were, but the main point was for them to get the people to hate them and say, "Oh, well, they were just Mormons." No, they weren't. They were circumcised. Right now, there are wars going on with nations that are women. The nation is a woman that has her children circumcised. So we have to send our troops, our UN or our uncircumciser has to go into these places and get and kill people that are circumcised to the law, because circumcision is to the law. When Washington brought us our circumcision, he made commandments that were the commandments of God, that we should be free and that no one should be able to tell us what to do, and that we should use our own good judgment. But right now, there was a man recently named George H.W. Bush who put in that a statement saying that he would like a new world order, an order of people who rule by law. Now that is not true law. That is Leviathan, or law and sin. It's the same thing as when the Catholic Church started forcing people to do certain things, otherwise you were a sinner. We don't call it a sin anymore. We just say you broke the law. But it's the same thing. So I'm telling you this because if you have money in your pocket and you have a birth certificate and you have a social security card, you are uncircumcised. It doesn't matter of the flesh, because the flesh is just a sign. So if you are circumcised of the flesh, start living like it. Peace.